Robert Meowler. and my character is just going to be straight from Super Troopers. And he's going to regret this.
Is he going to say meow in every sentence?
Absolutely.
Meow, listen to me now.
Listen to me, meow.
This is how, meow, we're going to do it. Okay.
No,
So.
this is meow, we're going to do it.
No. How meow.
How meow?
Okay, so where last we left off, you guys were there. Some of you were overcome by craziness. Mild panic attack.
Everybody but me was overcome.
Like, what do you mean there's a bomb on my ship? Okay, I'm cool.
No, of course there was a bomb on your ship.
Alright.
It's cool.
It's like force-fed Xanax or something.
A Xanax dirt gun.
Yes, I can win.
Yes.
Xanax cupcakes. That's how you calm everyone down. Be warned, the frosting stains for reals.
I'm gonna be very careful.
So you guys, were being huddled back on the ship, and the ship is taking off rather quickly as the box is being connected, I recall. Does that sound about right to everybody?
Yeah.
As I'm assuming our pilot was going to get right to the wheel and start piloting away.
So,
Yeah, I am.
do we actually think those guys are going to deliver the package properly, or do we need to make sure?
Oh, that's a really good point. What was the instruction?
I don't know.
Drop
what
it
was
off.
the instruction?
You never really shared with anyone. You were just told to drop it off there, and the person would come collect it.
Did the person come collect it? Or did
Not
we just
yet.
tell? I guess we should wait then.
Well, you were waiting as the box left the cargo hold.
Well, I know, but if the instruction was to wait until someone showed up, then I guess we should wait. Until they
Wait,
showed
what
up.
wasn't it a bunch of
No, we just got.
came to get
yeah,
it?
no, we got the apprentices. We were like, hey, apprentices,
Unload this.
unload this.
So they unhooked it from your airship and everything.
We're gonna die, aren't we?
Not.
They,
The
they,
test is
I'm gonna
to-
go. I'm gonna
They're
go
on the
to-
airship. You
I'm
can
gonna go to
try
the
to-
communication room
You're gonna go to the communication?
because I know who we're supposed to deliver to, right?
Nope. You just
I
know
don't
that you're
think I
supposed
know
to
who
drop
it
it
is.
off.
And being fair,
And you're really okay with that, because remember, you got the whammy too.
No, I didn't.
Didn't you get this?
I got whammy.
Oh,
did
get
get
the
whammy.
sober one. That's
Yes,
right.
and actually, I'm not looking at any of them, and I am not using any magic because I think that's how the whammy works.
Because they're all sitting there
Because they're
swaying,
all sitting there
looking at
swaying.
you.
Is he trying
I'm
to
not
avoid
looking
my
at any of
eyes?
them.
Do I need to grow more?
This is how you get beholders.
I
So-
see
so-
you.
So, do we know who's actually supposed to pick this up?
Do you ask him? Because he
Yeah.
never told anybody. He's not big on details.
No.
I just know somebody's supposed to be here.
He's more of an idea guy.
I just get things done.
And they're all super calmly
Yeah.
okay.
I thought you were gonna say they were all bad ideas. That was also correct.
Which is kind of odd since usually I get very nervous.
Yeah.
Fuck with my ship.
So,
This is fine.
Everything's
fine. We're all fine.
can I make
They're the Stepford wives. Fine.
a...
He's looking at the skill list. It's gonna be good.
Happy early birthday, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Since I won't be seeing you on Sunday.
Yeah,
Okay,
no
I
game
think
on
it's-
Sunday.
I think it's just a straight intellect roll
Okay.
to go back through my memory and see whether anybody, or him, because I wasn't actually through this, ever said anything or if there was anything on the box on who should be picking this up.
Do you need any help going through your brain?
Okay, that's
Like,
gonna
are you
be.
sure?
It's gonna be 3 purple. As all of a sudden you're getting this weird feeling. You're like, why is everybody?
Use the token
Yeah.
before he does. Actually, I'm gonna flip it. No, before he
Go ahead and
does.
flip one.
So,
So you get to determine what are your
Since it's-
greens, yellow.
okay.
You're the cunning guy, not the smart guy. Oh!
Ba-boom!
What? Just
Hot
good
diggity
use.
damn.
Yeah. So we've got
Triumph and 3 threat.
yeah, and 2 advantage and 1 failure. So that fate point is basically paying off there. Destiny.
Technically no failures, because
Yeah, because the triumph. So you're gonna have 1 1 threat. So go ahead and take 1 point of strain. As you're sitting there, and there's this like clock ticking moment where you're like gazing through the porthole, and a bead of sweat is coming down, and you're like, okay, who's this going to? Who's this going to? You all of a sudden recognize on the crate. You get this little flashback, right? As all of a sudden you realize the stencil is that it's to the Institute of Higher Learning and Ether Technologies.
Okay.
Basically the Ether Tech guys here in Quintessence.
Okay. So I will get on the horn.
Okay?
Okay. And get to their central communication people.
Okay?
Say, we just dropped off a package and it's supposed to go to the Institute of Higher Ether people. And somebody was supposed to meet us here. Can you patch us through to them?
Okay, the operator basically, you hear clicking of cords because it's old-timey phones as they're patching you through there. And everyone's just fine. So what are you guys doing while you're kind of like just fine?
Tinkering, like sprucing up the ship, fixing. Oh, look, that bolt's loose. Let me tighten it.
I'm feeling like a villain because everything's fine.
Is the crate open?
No, the crate it's all sealed. It was just lowered
That's
down
unfortunate.
and onto the ground.
Polishing some brass.
Polishing some brass.
That's not going to turn it. And you get this couple seconds of stressful
this
wait.
is something that would be general knowledge, so I shouldn't have to roll for it.
Okay.
What was the actual year of the first protection drop?
Oh, that was dropped about 5 years ago.
Wait, 5 years?
Five?
Oh, it has to be more
It
than
had to
that.
be more than that.
We haven't decided how long ago it was.
At
It
least,
has to be
at
long enough
least
ago
10.
because it was the kids. We
Yeah.
were kids when it happened.
It had to be
Okay,
at
so how long
least
ago was
10
it?
years ago.
I'll throw it back your direction.
Okay.
13 years.
13
Lucky
years.
13.
Okay.
Okay.
Next,
So,
in 3
Lucky
days.
13.
So, I mean, that
3
would be
days.
like, 9/11. Everybody would know.
Yeah,
it.
oh, yeah.
So, okay, what year are we currently in?
1889.
So it dropped in 1876. Okay.
I blew the world up for my birthday. 100 years before I was born. Okay.
Okay.
But it's just a
Centennial.
harmless crate,
It's a
right?
harmless crate, absolutely.
Okay. So immediately you're getting this long pause, and then click, you get Academy of Ether Technology.
Hi. We just dropped off a crate, and one of your people were supposed to be here to collect it. And you need to send somebody really soon. It's a crate from 1876.
1876. Wow, what kind of postage was paid to get that here?
Well, apparently.
Wait a minute, we weren't even here in 1876. And you're hearing this like slew of side conversations, slightly muted because the person's covering the microphone. 1876. Oh, I'm sorry. And you were saying?
We need somebody to help us pick this up immediately.
If you would like, the customs office will sign for it.
No. We need somebody with your type of talents.
I'm just an etherphone
Yeah, I
operator.
know, but it's a school. You need to send somebody with your type of talents. It's rather important. That's a
Are you trying to say something? I don't think I'm quite picking up on this. I'm merely an etherphone operator. I mean, my fingers get sore all day, but my nails look good.
Nailed it.
Nail.
I think it's a charm roll.
Okay. You're gonna start putting some suave there. He's immediately whipping out the big guns.
Okay, this is where I actually do need more dice. I need one more yellow.
Apparently, you
You
might
need
need
one
two
more
more
yellow.
yellow.
Ooh, yeah, take that one. It already rolled a trial.
No, it's never gonna
Rolled it out.
Never
It
gonna roll
just
it.
burned the trial.
Against.
It's gonna be against 2 purple. Super easy person to charm. The switchboard operator. Those dice trays,
Yeah.
you do a good job of muting the sound. Oh, by the way, Kelly made the turn over birthday.
That's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Just.
No threat, no advantage, but
5 successes.
Just 5 successes. So immediately you whip out the charm. Your chest puffs up, like 1 or 2 buttons pop, of course, because you gotta have the whole half
Yes.
unbuttoned look. And immediately the operator's picking up on your machismo. And it's like, so are you wanting my number? And then of course, you play it off really quick. Oh yes, but before that, I need to speak with someone who can be down here rather quickly. And of course, long story short, she basically gives you at the customs desk, there is actually a member of the school there that's there to inspect packages. And basically she's sending a phone call to them to have them report to your berth that you're parked in.
Okay.
Okay?
I will go down and meet them.
Okay, so you're coming down the loading ramp, so you're down there looking at the guys that are putting the box on little lifters and they're starting to
why
push
is it
the
called a birth? You weren't born there.
It's because where ships are born. So they're starting to kind of push this thing rather slowly on the little floaty things that it's on. And after a few moments, oh, that's yours. See the darker yellow? It's the lighter yellow. That's the one nice thing is they're slightly off color. Like that. So, you
The one
basically...
downside is they're slightly off color.
So you're standing out there watching them take your crate, and basically they're marking stencils where it should go, so it's being taken off. And all of a sudden, a gentleman in very, very flowy, long Middle Eastern robe-style garment comes walking up. He's got a big clipboard that's got lots of sheets of paper that he's flipping through. And he's got the little tiny spindle spectacles on, and he's looking as he's walking. He's just absent-mindedly walking through the crowd, almost with pure luck, not running
Do I
into people.
remember the wrecked ship name?
You
The
do, yeah.
desert?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind, like a steel train.
So immediately he comes walking and he kind of stops. Before he acknowledges you, he stops right at the line on your berth. Almost like he knows where the line
Right.
is marking your berth's beginning. And he just kind of checks something off and he slowly starts putting things back in order and he dog ears a couple pieces of paper in there and then puts the pencil back in, and he finally, how may I help you?
Do you have someplace where we can talk better than here?
And he gives you this little side eye around. He's like, are you wishing to report a crime?
The best
Be
thing
careful what you say here.
Like, do they have crimes against either bombs?
I
think they do.
is smuggling an ether bomb into a city
What I did probably
legally
is
a
some
crime?
kind of crime.
Oh yeah,
It's
we
really not
may not
smuggling,
have
you
declared
delivered
it's
it.
called terrorism.
We didn't check that box.
Animal, vegetable,
You're
mineral,
right.
Did
terrorist.
anybody pack this crate other than you?
Animal, vegetable, mineral,
We
WMD.
have not committed any crimes. However, this is a delicate situation.
Ah, delicate. I can address that. Please follow me. And he's proceeding to, as he's walking, he starts flipping through, and you can tell he's taking note of things going on around.
Oh, and make sure that doesn't go too far.
Well, what do you mean by that?
The crate.
You point to the crate, and it's sit for the Institute. That should be earmarked as a green light to go directly to the Institute.
You know.
Yeah, we can take it.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what?
I can ape out and I'll just carry it.
Yes. I can give you tentacle arms.
We don't need that, but can you
He
make
proceeds
tentacle
to
ropes?
gesture to the
We'll lash it to me
lesser
and I'll just...
ethermancers
Lots
that are
of
moving it
orphans.
to put it over in the green section and
I have no
leave it
problem
there
with
until he
that,
signs off on it.
historically.
And he basically is giving you this grand tour of the docks. And he's basically explaining this is where this goes, this is where this goes, all prim and proper and very professional.
How many orphans would it take to roll the bomb to where it needs to go?
You would only need 3 orphans to grease the treads.
Done. I'll go find them.
You've got that many in the secret hole. And he basically is giving you this
Can we get to the
I was driving down 22nd.
and he just kind of like drops his glasses at the edge of his nose and he gives you this look like, is there something, sir, you're not telling me?
Yes, that's why I want to go to the conference room.
If it's important, you should tell me right now.
No, we should go to the conference room.
Very well, let us continue. And this is
That was a
where
very
food
easy
production...
check right there.
Yeah,
Few people realize that underneath Quintessence we still have a surviving hamlet of people that have decided to live on the surface.
I did
That's
not
a
know that.
poor decision.
Thanks to Ethermancy, we're able to provide them with food.
Another charm roll to get to the conference room.
Okay. You can basically give him the schmooze.
Against.
It's going to be against a red and 2 purple. He'll definitely be taking your hint though. You're very urgent. I mean, what's the worst that happens?
Fair.
Oh.
Yay!
So immediately
Funny how those show up.
he starts talking about the food dispensary that actually has these really cool hover things that just jettison straight down.
Wow, 4 successes, 2
Bunch of
advantages, and a despair.
Solid.
And as you're telling him, we need to hurry up, we need to go, we need to do this thing, all of a sudden he's immediately looking at you like, very well, we shall continue, we are almost there. All of a sudden, in the back of your head, you get this memory of a sound. And all of a sudden, you hear this engine plug, 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 die down, and this clanking of boots on the gangplank.
Oh no!
And all of a sudden, you turn around and you look across the landing berths to where they have a bunch of smaller crafts landing.
That's a good fucking despair.
Oh my god!
And you immediately, your eyes like blur out everything but one person who's leaning into his aircraft, which you don't recognize. This is this cobbled together piece of crap.
Does he recognize him without a scout?
Person turns around and immediately looks right at you, only we're seeing one cybernet, one steampunk eye, and all of a sudden you look at him and he looks at you. And you just start to see him as you can't hear what's being said through the very busy area, but you know he sees you because his little photoreceptor eye,
Right.
like you're sensing Terminator eyeball right now.
So, did he point to the conference room?
Yeah, he's like, oh,
Okay.
we're almost there. It's
I
like,
will actually drag him in.
okay, and he's like, sir, this is
And close
totally
the door.
inappropriate. Okay, as soon as you off camera, this guy's pushing through people coming in your general direction. So
Oh,
Go
this is
ahead.
pretty drama.
There's an Etherman who's taking mind control over all sorts of people and wants us to deliver
This gets worse and worse.
ether
Or
bomb
better and better.
into the city.
Here's the thing.
What we just dropped off is ticking and needs to be stopped. And I think the guy who did it is after me.
he's after you, sir. There's no one after you. Your package was being delivered to the institute. Everything will be fine.
Somebody's breaking the door down. gonna be somebody breaking the door down.
In a moment there will be. With his triumph and his success to follow you
Exactly
through
where
the
you
place, I was thinking if you saw which door he disappeared through. So basically he's completely, it's like, you have me alone. Now what is it you really wish to discuss?
The ether bomb that's going to go off.
Ether bomb. There hasn't been an ether bomb seen in 13 years, and that was, well, literally seen right here last.
What, too soon?
Are you an ether? Can you detect ether?
Of course I am an
Look at
ether.
the box.
Well, you're the one that pushed me in this room.
Okay,
You
yes,
should open
but
the
that's
box.
because don't open the box. Look at the box. We have to be in this room because they're after us,
Sir,
and they're mind controlling the crew.
Anyone who watches
Sir, I can
Twitch
assure
is
you
gonna
there's
see us
no
doing
one
this
after you.
and wonder what the
And
fuck
literally
is
at
going
that
on.
point, a fist is punching through the door. And kind of like grabbing the door and ripping the door off its hinges.
I think
Call
I'm
your
gonna get
superiors
advantage.
if you can.
And his eyes he's like, you're a fool. So there's no one chasing you as he does the whole red rum moments happening here.
So he gets advantage now, or like
mostly
he gets
that.
an,
So
like an
what-
automatic.
What would you like to do?
They
As the door is being ripped off its hinges and ripped in half right now, because it's
Really
just
did
a
want to go to the colony.
chintzy door.
Okay.
What are you gonna do? As you recognize it's him.
Call
He's got a
your-
new coat on.
Yes.
I
Call
think
your
this is like a
security.
really high speed.
Stop the box and stop this man.
But
No, it's a
but
mistake.
Now.
but
And I'll use a roll on that.
okay.
Flip over. Something.
Okay.
Oh.
Ooh.
No, no,
Other
the
way.
other one.
For
Why are we
no,
doing
no,
this?
that first
Yeah,
one was
he
okay.
wants to increase his roll.
Like, why are we doing this?
one
Oh,
extra
God.
blue for the obvious.
Oh yes, I will give you definitely a blue for that.
Against.
It's his two purple and a red. His discipline basically.
Okay.
Which he's going to, you're basically snapping him out of his what the hell as steampunk mechanical arm rips the door and
Everything is fine, right?
everything is fine.
But I'm gonna go out and just
And
see the sights in the city.
And at that exact moment, all of you guys are okay. You're just okay. Whatever was telling you it's fine, it's gone now. It's
There's a freaking bomb on this ship.
Of course there was a bomb on the
So
ship.
that's 2 successes and 1
I'm
advantage.
gonna start getting the ship ready to go.
immediately when you snap him out with you use your power of your will to snap him out of the stunness. He immediately hits a button that you didn't even know was on the wall and pushes that button. As soon as he does, a bubble pops around the office area. Unfortunately, you realize when you see this ether purplish, yellow, orange bubble happen, the guy is inside the bubble.
Cone of silence.
They are after you. There is an ether bomb. Oh my god! Oh my god! And he as soon as he hits that button, he reaches up
Yeah.
to a little panel and kind of like clicks it. And you realize when the panel literally just drops to the ground, there's a bar there that he pulls down, like it's almost like a subway brake.
Okay.
And immediately you're hearing these bells.
They have
ringing.
alarms specifically for an ether bomb being in quintessence
No.
all over quintessence.
Quintessence has an emergency brake, and it stops us being, right now we're in essentially orbit. Right there, it's gonna stop, and people are gonna go flying.
Quintessence is gonna
all the,
drop on that
all the
hammer.
flat earthers will see what it's like.
Well, the good news is that Hamlet isn't gonna be there.
The bad
Okay.
news is that Hamlet is not
So
gonna
he
be
hits
there
the
anymore.
button. Shield is protecting the offices from any basic explosions or anything silly like
Okay,
that.
bad news is that
Probably
the
not
hammer
an
will be
ether
there
bomb
until
you're
it's no
thinking.
longer there.
No.
But you realize as the door is being finished splintering,
Yeah.
and he's looking at you, and he's like pulling his sidearm out, and you're hearing that little mechanical gun start whining.
Okay. Draw, boom.
Okay?
He
So-
drew first.
Yes.
I'm allowed to defend myself.
Yes, there's no doubt the steampunk mechanical man who ripped the door in half is not.
I am
It wasn't even a
Judge,
This
I am afeared for my life.
Judge,
He is the aggressor.
but
He gon' get me.
the thing that actually happened, because this is quintessence, the actual rule that he violated that makes it okay is he stepped into the room with his left foot, not his right one. It pays to know
It's sinister.
where you're from. Exactly.
Take it from the locals.
What type of table is it? And is it attached to the ground?
It seems to be
Periodic.
a fairly sturdy, mass-produced wood table, sort of like almost like this, but
Okay,
twice as sturdy.
And it is gravitationally attached to the ground.
You sense that it's probably got like magnets or something, but it's not like bolted to the ground. Magnets. The other
Well, in
other
case
tech.
two intestines.
It's electromagnetically attached to
So
the ground.
everybody, go ahead and roll
All I'm
your
saying is steampunk
vigilance.
people are usually made of
Vigilance.
metal that are ferrous. So if you know how to really screw up a steampunk dude, have him be part
Magnets.
table.
Is grass ferrous?
Two of your green ones, or I mean, how many of the?
That's a question.
Yeah, we need
What?
What is the what is it?
Vigilance.
Vigilance.
Which is
what, Ferris?
Just
Brass.
Brass? I don't
willpower.
believe.
Oh, I have some will.
I think.
Non-ferrous.
Yeah, I think only the iron and steel.
Hey, I got the same roll.
Which is why magnets would be so much nicer if it was for steampunk.
2 and 2.
2 and 2.
And it's not ferromagnetic, so
Not normally, but in Damascus.
Damascus.
That should probably be the other way.
in Damascus
Yep.
they have this steel.
So 1 success, 2 advantage.
No. 2 success, no advantage.
No advantage. Okay.
I'm the same. 2 success, no advantage.
Okay.
What are we rolling?
Vigilance.
Yeet.
As all of a sudden, whatever wave is over the 3 of you just like fades to nothing.
Yeet.
Okay.
2 advantage.
2 advantage. So, all of a sudden,
I die.
Yeet.
you know you did your duty.
I
You
eat the
tried to
fuck outta
report
there.
for the best. He's just a little faster on the draw with you. As you're reaching for your gun, his gun's been spinning up and he's coming after you. He's
You can take
He's
a
a
bullet
little
or two.
cranky with you. Just a little.
You can take a bullet or two. I got beat nearly to death in an arena. It's his turn.
and you know what? He will aim because he's locked on you. And you see his very large pistol spinning quickly.
Oh my.
Oh my.
You know what? He disregards human life. He'll go auto fire.
Oh my.
Roll in there so you know which
Okay,
one
I'll
you're
re-roll
doing.
over
No,
there.
but just freaking use the.
The freaking I made for you, man.
Freaking magnets.
So, all you hear is this cacophony of as you're just seeing bullets fly through this room. Thankfully, the Ether Master, clerk, he's okay. He's okay.
But is Peter okay?
So, thankfully, he only got 1 success. It's a good thing.
Peter just got
So the
yeeted.
first couple rounds do 7 points of damage before you're soaked.
You're so.
I got 1 soak. Oh, actually, I've got
3
4
soak.
soak.
4 soaks. So
I got guards at
so
4 soaks.
3 points of damage as your clothing is
Okay.
catching most of the
In
bullets.
all honesty, I've had I think it was called flak armor, since like the entire game, and I got rid of it once we got the jacket because it interferes with my casting. So if you want the flak jacket, I would have given it to somebody that either of you guys would have.
As all of a sudden there's a flashback of I should have took the flat jacket.
No, like I'm not carrying it around with me. Like literally, I
Well,
bought
so
it.
if the flak jacket interferes with your casting,
it would
chances
interfere
are
with yours
I wouldn't
too.
be wearing it.
Okay.
So you're
I
catching.
don't cast.
So your soak is 4?
one of
My
us.
soak is 4.
So you're catching 3 points in the first couple rounds,
Okay.
and then 3 more points as the second half of the burst hits you.
Okay.
It should be in there.
So basically, he hits you for 2 shots worth of blasts. As you got a bullet in the leg, bullet in the left shoulder, bullet in the right leg and the left shoulder. So it's super action hero-y. Where you
6
have
out
to
of my 12 wounds.
as he just lit this office up, and people start screaming.
So
So
people are properly alarmed.
now people believe it is true. What are you looking at? The armor?
Flak.
So, which way would you like to go next? Because I'm looking at everyone but Peter.
Did we all do double advantage? Oh wait, never mind. That's not
Yeah,
how it
you
works in this
almost
game.
all of you got
One person goes first.
2 successes. So you guys, who would like to go next? Would make sense for Peter to do it, and then whatever you guys are doing. But
Go, Peter.
Okay.
You're
Flashback to the
short,
mid-90s.
just out of melee range with him. So shooting is only 1 purple.
So I get a movement and an action
A movement, an action, and an incidental.
and an incidental.
Or
Would-
you can downgrade your action to another movement, and you can choose 2 strain to take a second movement if you want to take a movement, then an action still.
Okay.
All kinds of cool combinations.
So is it a movement or an action to pick up the table?
You know, I give you. Now, are you talking about flipping the table and diving behind it?
No, I'm talking about picking up the table and charging him.
Oh, that would definitely be an action.
Okay. That's one action,
That
not
would
two.
be an action, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Now,
what.
you know the table won't fit through the doorway, but the table could block the doorway.
Well, I'm expecting I can't get through the doorway because there's a force field there. So what I'm actually trying to do.
And a man trying to kill you there.
Enemy trying to kill. So what I'm actually trying to do is pick up the table, which is really wide, run at him, use my momentum, the table's momentum, to shove him into the force field, which hopefully will not move and fry him.
Okay?
Yeah, so it'll
Because that
keep him,
should do more damage than either my gun or my sword.
unless the force field works in a different
just
way, where it's like,
Or it's
well,
just,
Just a
well, we don't know how it
force
works. So like the force field could be like a solid shield, or it could be like you only let people go out, because that's usually you want to return fire, right?
yeah.
But either way, he gets protection because the guy's outside the force field.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
I'm figuring the worst that happens is that the force field acts like a wall and I run him into it.
Yeah.
Either way, there is still a table between me and him.
And the gun not
And
pointing
the
in your
gun
face.
pointing at my face.
As the gun will. Okay, so give me an athletics. As you're gonna get real He-Man all of a sudden. You feel those
got
first
the
couple
power.
buttons pop open and drop, some chest hair like flicks out of your shirt with your machismo. We learned this one at the one party in the house. Things got crazy. Then we used tables for sports.
Athletics, which I also do not have.
We've got drugs for that.
We've got a point for
Oh, he's giving you a plus.
We want to see this succeed.
So the
Get to
one
upgrade one.
James knows how
Get to
useful
upgrade one.
spending the last
Just-
white point
no,
can be.
just
well, remember you
upgrade
do
it.
I
have
don't
one
have
regular
athletics.
human on the crew that can
Oh, okay.
take one too.
Yeah.
She as an incidental, she can steal one of those
I can because I'm.
because you're a base human. What on your turn? On your turn, I might give you.
on using 4 or 5 points?
You might.
Oh, good grief.
Okay. Against.
It's going to be against 2 purple, but it's only fair that I give you a point back and you turn one of those purple red, just because this is some dramatic shit here. Wow.
Turn the other green yellow. Turn the other purple red.
It's just an escalation.
So you're immediately reaching down and
Turn
grabbing
that
that
blue
table.
orange.
This is actually a really good roll.
Oh no.
Ouch.
Threat and a fail.
So with threat and a fail.
Okay, so immediately you reach down for the table. And you try to do the cool grab the table and flip it, and it's either the magnets are holding it down or stronger than you thought, or the gun shots hit you just enough that you're winded a bit.
Okay.
When you grab the table, it kind of like lifts up and then snaps back down, almost like there's some kind of magical magnetic force holding it in place. And you take a point of strain when you try to do it because you realize that gunshot to your leg is now bleeding a little more profusely. Oh, the strain. Now, if you want, you could dive under the table. You still have your movement.
If you want, you could die.
That didn't
God.
sound like that.
What do we do now? We die.
Die.
Yeah, since I'm already like this, I think what I will do is just collapse under the table.
Okay, so you're diving under the table as the clerk is just looking in absolute horror as you just watch this room get lit up with gunfire. You disappear behind the table next to him. And he's looking at the gun that's still whirring in his face. Okay, he's gonna do something, but he's at the end of the turn.
I guess I'll go next.
Okay.
We know it's a bomb, right?
You know it's something very explosive like.
And the alarms just went off, right?
And alarms are ringing all through the base.
I'm gonna shout to these two, go get Peter. I'm dropping ballast in 10 minutes. I don't care who's on board.
Gotta wait for us though.
As he cuts one ballast back.
That's not a real good incentive for me to leave this ship. I'm
I'm like, excuse me, my background says no, I ain't leaving the ship.
She's like, if the ship's going anywhere, it's going with me. Okay, so are you gonna do anything else besides that? Run up to the.
Yeah, I'm running up to the control room.
Okay, getting the
ready
engines
to
all
go.
warmed up. Okay, so what are you guys
Do
doing?
we know that we had the whammy put on us?
Yes, know something is seriously wrong, and you need a ether spiritual colonic.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
rather than risking it happening again, I'm gonna do a trance of some type and try to purge that real quick.
Ooh. Okay, go.
Real quick.
Real quick. Give me a basically you want to enchant yourself kind of thing.
Yeah, that'll work.
Go for it. It's going to be against a red and 2 purple because you want to get rid of him out of your head. Because there's nothing worse than the fact that you gave him another Ethermancer to use.
Some good shit right there.
Hey, he was not supposed to be in your head until that despair roll came for him. Then he got flushed into the wrong toilet. He was supposed to stay back there.
Did you just call him a toilet?
Yes.
I mean, he's not wrong, but
I
it
know, but
hurts
it's still
to
insulting.
hear it out loud.
Because flesh is weak when you can become pure ether. Or it's because someone killed your body and you were astral traveling. You did a great job. They're super quiet in the rooms.
You made these?
Yeah.
For his birthday.
I'm gonna
And
put
then
it
we
to work
should
maybe
try it
more.
with
I have 2
Try it with
successes
metal
and
dice.
an advantage. 1 success and 2 advantage.
Funk, 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 funk.
You immediately drop to your knees into your position of meditation, and you start gazing within. You get the ether eye turns inside. You're doing this whole Doctor Strange thing as you're gazing in your mind palace, mindscape,
That's
whatever we
pretty
want to call it.
cringy.
Yeah.
And immediately you're realizing that there's this shadow moving around, just trying to stay out of your peripheral vision as you're looking around. What's wonky in my head?
That's what they sound
That's what they sound like.
normally. Let's see what it sounds like with.
Much nicer.
I wanted to pad them.
And
Most
actually,
of
for
them
those
come padded.
metallic dice, it also
I
probably
mean,
saves
that's
the table.
perfect.
Yeah.
You get a good solid. So you're in your mind palace and you're looking around, and immediately you turn around and you see a shadow that seems very familiar at first. It was almost like that old monk that you were sitting with that touched your head. But then all of a sudden the shadow peels back and it's this weird ether cloud that's got the spooky, ghost-like face with just the maw opening up and its eyes look at you and it just looks right through you.
Huh.
Ether has gained sentience.
And it's proceeding to tries to bite you. And then you dive out of the way. And of course it's chasing you and it feels like forever you're chasing with it, but finally you basically sucker it into a location. Where in your mind palace would you trap a monster to trap it?
The tentacle room.
That is for fun and not for punishment, okay?
Recreation only,
Jeez.
of course.
Punishment is different.
Sometimes punishment is fun.
That's what's
To the
punishment.
tentacle room for you.
He would probably get shoved into a temple dedicated to the flame, I see him as a corrupted version of the ether flame, and I would try to expunge that with fire that is not corrupted.
So of course he chases you into your little temple up the stairs, and he's like flashing like a shadow on the ground after you. And immediately you stand boldly outside your temple as you like kick the door open. As it's just like all of a sudden just envelops the temple in darkness, and it sort of like oozes around the doors and in the windows to chase you as you run inside there, and you stand before the flame altar of the temple. And as soon as it comes in there and it's got you cornered, you see the ether shadow creeping along the ground and surrounding you in flame, and you just immediately just like feign you were cringing and running from it, and you just turn around with the ether flame in your eyes. And as soon as you look at it, what do you do to banish it or absorb it into the flame?
I would actually just step out of the way of the flame that isn't a thing and let the flame. Have you ever played Catherine? The video game Catherine? No, just like kind of stepping out of the way and letting the light from that like hit it and have it disintegrate.
And immediately there's this Michael Bay lens flare. As the light blasts out, evaporating the shadow to the walls, till the shadow's just this small, insignificant, hunched-over form that looks like a little old man. Almost like Dr. Zinn from Johnny Quest. Old, age spots, skinny arms with joints pointing out. And immediately, he turns around like he's wanting to run from you in this flame because he realizes the power that he is in your place of power in your mind. Turns to run, kind of stumbles and claws the ground like something's pulling him by his belt, and immediately he's being pulled into the flame, and you see him shrinking the closer he gets to the flame, to where the flame is burning in the brazier, and he's trapped in the heart of the flame. As you just, I wounded you, and your little dog too. And then immediately you open your eyes and you feel like it's been hours since this happened, and this is literally like 6 seconds.
Excellent.
And what would you like to do?
I want to use my contraption.
Okay.
Okay. And I want to create a force field generator to envelope the crate.
That seems a little more advanced.
It says that once per session, make a hard mechanics to fashion a device to solve the current problem using just the tools on stuff on hand.
Well, and remember, we actually have a shield generator that works inside the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be a roll to be able to use that, only instead of inside the ship, outside the ship.
And I'm gonna take
And you're stealing one of those as an incidental real quick.
Yeah, because I'm gonna use it again. I'm gonna put the other one.
Right? Because that makes sense.
Okay, I will now. What is you're wanting to use the force field to contain the bomb,
The crate, so that in
or
case
do you
it
want to
explodes.
use it to cause something else? You could do like an EMP.
I don't know what I know enough about. I guess I would know about the ether tech to know whether that would work and
Or you
disable it.
could use the force field to channel the exhaust from the ship to smother it with ether, which could either make it worse or better. We don't know.
Yeah.
The dice will tell us.
Let's not do that.
My mechanics is far better than my ether tech, so I'm just gonna try and contain it in case it explodes.
So you're trying to make some kind of barrier.
Yes, basically,
Okay.
so that, you know, like how they do with the bomb squads?
Yeah, put the
You
bell
know,
over it and blow it
Yeah,
up.
I'm essentially doing that, or at least contain it in case it does explode, before the ether people, the academy can get there to,
I like ether people. That should be
the
the name.
ether people.
The ether people.
Okay.
So go ahead and give
Kinda
me
like
a
mobile.
mechanics versus hard. As you're
So,
immediately.
wait a minute, I can't, I only have 3 green, or 3 yellows. I can't, how do I mean, if I upgrade, I just get a
You
green?
just get green,
Okay, no.
yeah. I'm like, if you don't upgrade, I'm gonna, and you're gonna get red.
Yeah.
So. So it's against 3 purple.
Okay. Alrighty.
And you're wanting to do this like instantly.
Well-
I'm gonna give you a black.
Let's put
Since
this
you're trying to do it in one action to turn your machine from an innie to an outie machine.
Okay, so let's see here. I got a lot of threats. Well, actually, all the threat has been neutralized. 1 success. This These take care of those, and that takes care of that. So then it's
So
just a
one
success.
So immediately you go running up to the shield generator on the ship and you start doing the Doctor Who thing of you're grabbing things and spinning things and pulling things out, ripping them out, shoving them back in backwards. Nobody's realizing what you're doing because it's like, it doesn't fit that way, but you're just like hammer blow with the wrench and it fits in that way. And,
Because I can see with my goggles.
and things are going sounds like something from Willy Wonka, the real
I don't
chocolate
want a
factory.
bomb going off anywhere near me.
And you're basically ripping some cables out and plugging it into a tube, and you're basically aiming it down the loading hatch where you see the box has been stopped, and they put it, and you're aiming your contraption at the box, and you pull the trigger on your contraption, and it makes this weird burpy fart noise. And all of a sudden, you're seeing this stream of ether spheres shooting out, and they start globbing together on it. And you've got this weird ether jelly around around the case. And slowly, it starts crystallizing into a shield made of ether.
Awesome.
And you're hoping that this is enough.
Yeah.
What he said.
Okay, meanwhile, the ether clerk is going to look at the mechanical man in front of him with the gun that's ripping this office room apart. Bullets chewing through the ceiling and the floor and the wall. And he's going to lift up his sleeves, get ready to do his ethermancy.
Are you ready to rumble?
Good hint. And he's going to begin an ether spell that will fix this whole situation.
And he's gonna fail.
Actually.
2 successes and 1 advantage. And immediately he's looking at you under the table. It will be okay. Just do what you have to stay alive. And literally he fades out of existence.
Oh, dick move.
I
Now I
will
see where you
send help.
It was originally called.
As you barely hear him say that, as he's teleporting away with the spinning gunfire going on.
Wait, people can do that? Outside of the shield? Okay.
Okay, top of the initiative. It's your friend's turn.
Friend.
You're the only one in the room.
Yeah.
So
The table might be sentient.
Based on how
he
hard
looks at
resistant-
you, but he's not seeing you because of the table. And he kind of like throws his arm out all super dramatically, as all of a sudden, through the center of his arm, whips out this giant blade.
Over here.
As he's gonna just bend down under the table looking at you.
Yay.
And swings this blade scythingly under the table at you.
Okay. I should still get the armor from the table legs as well as my regular armor.
I'll give him a black dice for that. Do you have any defense for melee?
No.
The +1 close soak.
+1 close soak? Okay.
So no defense.
And he's angry. He's not aiming. Let's hope we get some advantage to destroy the table. Or trash it on time. One of them. Okay, so here comes the scything blade. You're right, it makes death so much quieter. Too bad I can't make the sound more dramatic for his
no
failure.
successes.
No successes. He has 2 failure.
That wasn't a success.
That was not a success, no. So, I do have some advantage though. So, he misses you by a mile. Like sticks into one of the legs, just manages to barely pull his blade out. As he's going to go ahead and give himself a blue die and give you a black die as you dove out of the way of this giant scything blade. So would you like to go next?
What was that roll on teleportation? And
Oh.
is that
Your primal? I don't think you have access to that.
I think Primal has a conjuration.
Does it?
I think it does. Oh, it might be arcane only.
Let me
I
check.
said because
I know that divine does not get
conjuration isn't. I mean,
Certain schools don't get access
Right.
to certain ones. Let's
and,
check.
and sometimes the different schools, even if they get it, they get different abilities within
Yeah.
that school.
So that way they have their different feels. Because it's all about the feels.
you might have to roll up a new character.
No.
No, we'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
Will we know?
Everything's fine.
We have to. We have to.
No. If he can teleport out, then he can probably get people there just as lightning quick.
Yeah.
Think about it, because all he has to do is pop into like their mage armor.
Yeah, but you saw how long
You
it
said
took.
it was
You saw how long it took
Yep.
him to get anybody to listen to him about a nuke. He's gonna be sitting there.
But
all
he's
this-
totally gonna believe it.
No, he'll believe it, but the next person
No,
is gonna
no.
be like, "Hold
He's
on,
one
let
of
me
the
talk
guys
to you
in
about the
charge.
conference room."
He's one of the guys in charge who just like, look, emergency now, come with me.
I think the biggest
Yes,
chance
yes,
he
you
has
can
is
do
that.
it.
I
It's 3 purple.
think the biggest chance he has is that they had a 10:30 appointment in the conference room, and then a bunch of other mages will just show up and be like, "Why are you still here?"
sorry, but we had the room.
We had written it on the schedule.
It's on schedule.
And then he just has to go, he stepped in with the left foot.
Since you clear this, Mr. Rusty, you have more information.
But I will give you a black dice since it's your first time trying.
Yay.
But I want you to live, so I'm going to use the last one.
She's beating me from doing it. She's like, he's gonna teleport you into a tree.
Yeah, no, you get a upgrade.
And where exactly are you looking to teleport to?
Anywhere
Just
but there.
outside the shield.
Just outside the shield? Okay. So
Or
yeah,
to the
just
Gallivant.
3 purple.
Someplace that you know very well.
Wow. Okay.
If you were to choose the Gallivant, that would give him a blue die because
It
he
would
knows
give him
where.
a blue, but it would also give him a purple because he's going for a longer range.
Oh, okay.
Decisions. I don't know, the running away thing would be great. Get on the ship, get the... And then he's beating on the force field going, I found them again!
As the city detonates.
And still, one being walks out of the wreckage.
It's not Don Pedro.
It's like the ending of Super Metroid, where the planet explodes and then that little ship goes.
Is there, since he's part mechanical, would Ether have an easier chance of wrecking something mechanical
Not
than a
really.
regular spell?
Not
or it's
really.
just part of him?
Yeah, it's just part of him, yeah. He's going for options here.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be able to take him. I'm not going to take him down in one shot.
Why not? You did last time.
No, actually, I didn't. I barely wounded him. It was circumstance.
No, the one shot that cut the rope.
Yeah,
You took him out in one shot.
Bye.
that was the whole thing. I'm not actually getting him.
Well, do you see any ropes around?
See, I was
I
gonna
tried that with the table. It didn't work.
I was gonna say follow that chain of logic. Think about it. What you were thinking of doing,
Right.
what you did last time with the rope. Put those together.
Into a tree.
Wait a second. Instead of teleporting me, can I
There you go.
teleport him?
You could try.
Congratulations.
Because what's the worst that happens? You roll bad, he ends up in something? I was hoping you'd follow my train of
Guess
thought
what?
there.
And actually, no.
Do
What
it.
I want to do, since we're in the harbor.
Yeah, we're like
in
right
the port.
next to the
I'm doing
little.
that until we actually decide what's
Okay.
actually going on.
There's like a lot of ether storm out there. So if I just move him outside of the
That's a
landing
long
area,
distance.
That's gonna be a longer distance, so it's gonna add
Well-
2 more purple to your roll.
Yeah, but if you move him outside the force field, he can't get in.
Yeah, and then you're fine.
But why bother with that when you can do the Wrath of Khan and think 3-dimensionally? Like, if he's
But that would be
probably-
even farther distance.
Would it be a further different distance down?
because they don't see it.
Wait a second.
So
Are you required to teleport the entirety of a being?
Yes. You can't put in that collar and just take his head. Until some ether tech guy finds him and goes, "This is just what I needed! Combat Monster 4.0, here you go." Kick.
Must kill Gallivant.
I am Steve Voltron.
Not like Voltron, it's just one being.
It's worse, it's vehicle team.
Oh!
yeah, so
There
I
was
think-
no vehicle team.
is it more difficult to teleport somebody else than it is to teleport me?
It's the same roll technically.
Okay.
But if you roll poorly, like
He could get
ending up somewhere bad, the
Okay.
results are better.
Because normally in games,
Break it to you, it comes in with change.
That's how random encounters happen.
normally
Open
in games
store.
it would be hard to teleport somebody else because you'd be rolling against whatever their stuff is as
Well,
well
that's
as the regular.
if they'd resist you, but we're not worried about that.
Okay.
He's not expecting you to do
That's
magic.
true.
You've never done magic before on him. He's
You're
waiting
just
for you
gonna
to
go up
shoot
and
the
grope
rope.
him.
He's like,
I will look away
That is unmounted.
and say, "Be gone!"
okay. So how far away are you teleporting him?
Like I said, just outside the force
Okay.
field.
So just
Same-
three
same
purple then.
place.
3 purple with the black against your spellcasting ability.
How many
Which
state
is-
quarters did they actually manufacture? Because like,
I think they're not
Well,
done yet.
oh, they're done with all the states.
Yes.
No.
They started doing monuments.
They did at least 55 because they did DC, Guam, and then
And Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
But they've also started doing more sites as well.
Oh,
But I'm
really?
talking about like how many state coins are there in circulation?
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, that I don't.
That's
That's
a
like-
Google question.
It's probably at least 12.
At least.
no, there's a lot more than that.
But there's not wrong.
Statistics, sir. 80% of all statistics can be
$1.
proven correct.
He's not wrong, but he's highly inaccurate.
What's
on your
anything
game
else I
trackers?
can throw at this?
Just your ethermancy.
Okay.
You're like, damn, I gotta sit down and study this stuff for reals? I need like a manual or something?
I've been practicing.
Dude, be my Yoda!
Be my Yoda. So, Bill and Ted 3.
What?
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. John Wick Returns.
Yeah. It's supposed to come out in 2019 somehow.
Yeah?
So is John.
At the end of summer.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves
It's
does
how
not
they
have a
end John
great
Wick.
record for
No, he does
trilogies.
Okay. This isn't good, but I think this is the best option.
That will work for this one.
Oh, let's upgrade you.
Oh, okay.
You wanna, okay, let's
Like
turn,
the worse
let's
Bill
make
and
it
Ted
evil.
3 is, the
You,
better
you
it
took a
is.
light and turned it dark.
I think that's what it's
Yeah.
You
going
wanna do
for.
the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
No,
you're right.
why would I want to give it?
Okay.
I want Bill and Ted 3 to be a competition where they bake goods.
We go back to the
Oh, this
BBC.
isn't good.
So
Oh.
I got 4 successes
Then how is this not good?
The disadvantage.
against
Or threat.
The Great British Bill
Let's
and
say-
Ted off.
one.
No, I think those are.
Those
These are the failures.
The,
So I've got
th-
two.
the
Okay, so
circle with the
that
3 marks
successes.
is threat.
Oh wait.
If it's got the X inside the circle, it's a despair.
So I got 4 successes against.
Looks like you have 2 failures, 2 threat.
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
failure, 2 threat.
Ooh.
Okay.
Womp womp.
So immediately, you come up and you're like, well, if that yo-ho can teleport, I can teleport this garbage out of my space. And you touch him, and you push the ethermancy into him.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel it surround him and start to ebb and flow, and it seems like it's about to send him somewhere. And then all of a sudden, just over his shoulder, where you see that force field, you see the force field flare and kind of absorb your ethermancy.
Womp womp.
And you said 2
This is
threat, huh?
bullshit.
Mm-hmm. So that's 2 more
Oh, I've
strain.
been there.
Okay, so
Dig into that droid. Crush.
so as you do that,
Such
you
an
feel your
effect.
ethermancer being pulled out of yourself into the shield. And you take 2 strain
Please.
and a wound. So I'm using one of your threats for 2 strain
After
and one for a wound.
seducing
It's
you.
ripping your ethermancer out of your body because you didn't know what you were doing and you tried like a sport, but the shield's like gobble 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 gobble. It's almost like the shield maybe secretly has some kind of ether nullifying ability.
Well, then how did he get out?
Because
Because he had a badge.
Because he didn't roll.
he had a pass.
Because he walked into the room with his
Policy
left
pass.
foot.
Because he went to the training last week, Karen. And
Why is it always Karen? Why is it always Karen?
Now, do you want to do something now that you have your hand on his mechanical chest and you feel how firm his
Seduction.
artificial
Seduction.
pectoral is?
Seduction.
You can feel the gears clicking and whining inside him.
Charm.
With
Charm.
this
charm,
weird
charm. Charm.
thump,
Charm.
thump,
Charm. Charm.
thump, thump, thump. You have a maneuver and an incidental.
Maneuver.
You can always take 2 strain for an extra maneuver.
No.
Hug him.
No, wrap your leg around him. That is a maneuver. And a wink is an incidental. We're good.
Genesis after dark. Can I take 2 strain? with the round?
Luckily, the
God.
force field creates a nice dimmer blue light.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it. Why is it singing Barry White?
Wait, were there any sound effects accompanied with the other guy teleporting out? Did it just... Is it like a heavy bass line?
So, I could do another action, correct?
No, this was your action, was the casting.
Right, but I can do a second action.
Well, you can do a maneuver for 2 strain. Remember, it's an action, a maneuver, and an incidental, and you can take an extra maneuver for 2 strain.
You only ever get 1 action.
I thought there were other times where I was able to cast a spell and do something.
Like
I
move
can
away
attack.
and stuff. No, it would be the next turn that you would attack, unless the attack was part of the spell.
Okay, the attack.
So, like, if it was one of those, you use your spell to enhance your
Enhance
attack.
your attack, that was, okay. So, like, I can't grapple with him. Even though I'm touching him.
Well, you're touching with
I'm
him,
touching him now, but
Yeah.
I can't grapple.
No.
Okay. So the maneuver could be get on top of the table?
Yeah, you could easily get on top of the table.
Okay. Can I get on top of the table with enough force that possibly it breaks and falls on top of him?
Probably not.
Okay. In that case, I will just get on top of the table and dodge.
Okay. So you give him a black dice whose attack. So you just get on top and be super defensive
For 2 more strain, you said?
for 2 more strain for a second maneuver. Or, normally I'd jack you out of a feint point there. You could get on the table, and when you're there, you look up from the ceiling. This is those chintzy recessed ceiling type dealios. You know, the tiles.
Okay.
And quite a few of them are shot up, of course, but you could, for 1 maneuver, get up on the table.
Okay.
Then do the whole Luke Skywalker look up and jump up into the recessed ceiling so he's shooting blind at you.
I'm expecting there to be a force field around the entire, but can I get up to the table and then look and then figure out if I want to do a second maneuver?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you dive up on the table after you touch him and you do this whole yoink as you do flip on the table and you get up on top of the table and you're looking at him and he's just like blade in one hand, gun in the other hand. You're actually seeing his gears in his head turn, like literally there's some gears
Right.
inside his head turning. And he's just like,
So is the entire room encased in the force field?
from what you're seeing from the roof that's all ripped up with the gunfire when you
Yeah.
look through the room, there seems to be a recessed crawl space up there.
Okay. There is also a handle with a rope which would make it easier to get up there.
There is.
Okay, so for the second maneuver, I will jump up, use the handle as a foot,
Okay.
so that way it should be an easier roll to get up.
Okay. So you do the whole dive up the roof. I'll just give you that as a maneuver since you're on the table, and you know.
Doing a whole Lulu Dallas there.
Yeah, exactly. As he's just like shaking at you. Apparently, you teleported one way or another. Okay, so you dive up in this horrible crawl space, by the way, that's like full of dust and creaks and sounds, and you realize it's a really chintzy crawl space that you have to be careful crawling up there.
Right, and I'm expecting him to start shooting like
Die hard,
Die Hard, exactly.
and then he'll take your shoes.
Yeah. Sit down there.
Okay, so 1 strain for the second maneuver? Or
2 strain.
for the second maneuver. Okay.
So as you guys are hearing sirens going on, you have blasted your gooey shield of protectiveness on the thing. Hey,
That just
you
sounds
rigged
wrong.
something in a hurry. What are each of you guys doing?
Still trying to leave.
And it's you are so ready to just click that brake off and the airship just takes off.
Just the second I can drop ballast.
Okay? So what are you guys doing? You want to start covering other people with the goop?
Save yourself!
He said this
Turns the
wonderful,
goop gun on
it's
herself.
this wonderful asbestos goop that protects against radiation. It's good.
I made it in a hurry. It's okay. Good news is you won't die of the ether bomb right now. Bad news, you'll die of cancer 10 years from now.
That's 10 years from now.
Enjoy your rock wool.
But first, tentacles.
I'm gonna get back on board before.
Well, you never really left. You just aimed in the open
Oh,
cargo
okay.
hole.
Do we have, do I know what the thing is that is inside my fiery brain palace?
You now are thinking about if you give me an ether, give me a ether knowledge roll, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. You have an idea. It's not supposed to be in your head. For
Yeah.
one, it's going to be hard. Because it's a rare. Actually, no. Let's make it an average for you. Go ahead and flip on those. We're gonna turn one of those purple red. Get you guys back on the board. Maybe he gets out of the flame. That's fine.
I've got 1 success and 2 advantage. 3
Okay.
advantage.
So immediately, you're like, this is an ether raid. The thing of nightmares for ether masters out there, that someone that may have been traveling through the ether, astrally projecting, and something happened to their body. Or, supposedly, amongst the high casters on high, they tell you that they can actually convert themselves in and out of ether. You're pretty sure it's an ether raid, though, because, if this thing had the ability to become real, it probably would have popped out of all of your heads when it had the chance, rather than just be knocked back into submission. So, real slow.
Can I reply to Johnson?
Yes, Jocelyn texted you. And you are pretty sure that this is an ether wraith, which means it's probably a very powerful ethermancer that's in ether form only. Which means he's got to cast things like Enhance to be able to interact with the real world. And then all of a sudden, in your head, you're having this montage moment going back to where the old guy touched your forehead, and all of a sudden you realize
Don't gotta touch what?
the old guy that touched your forehead was the Frenchman superimposed, and then all of a sudden when he touched you, there was an explosion, and the Frenchman poured through you the touch into your mind. And
I tried to repress it.
all of a sudden, you realize your eyes were ethereally like purple black darkness, and that every time you were telling the team about the job that you were hired to do, it was actually his voice superseding yours, and you're getting this whole, you basically were ridden like a horse.
Do I think that the guy I met in Africa, that he was in on it?
You immediately get the idea he was probably done just like you were. That he was just a vessel.
The old man got around to.
Well, it doesn't sound like we need to nuke him.
Yes. The only way to be sure is to take a Casablanca.
It's true. From orbit.
Second orbit.
So you're pretty sure that that's what it is, and you currently know you have it trapped inside you. It's locked in the back of your head. The flame has got it protected. The temple is locked down. You've put all the barriers between your active mind and where it's locked in
You're
the
right,
back
it
of your
is an
recesses.
STD.
I told you.
You got the astral herpes.
And all it takes is 1 to spare.
Well, more now that it's locked away. And the fact that he's not having to roll against its discipline, which is going to be much nicer for him. Especially when he was doing things through you, and you realize that you did it to them. You get this recollection, this flashback of you actually looking at them from a third-party thing, doing.
I also do that all the time. So let's be honest here, guys. 2 or 3 times a day, I shoot lasers at you from my eyes.
Even worse, the ether ray touched your tentacles. Touched your tentacles.
How about this? Go find Peter, and we'll leave when he gets back on the ship.
As he's been having this introspective moment for 12 seconds. It's like, again I say, go get Peter. Let's get off this dust bowl.
I think we need to take the bomb.
I think we don't. I think very strongly
You're
that we
not
don't.
putting that on my ship, but I can't let the people get
Here,
it.
no, here's the
can't-
thing. There's a number of really good reasons for this. We're not going to leave this with a bunch of interns. Number one, imagine you're
Shit
an
rolls
intern.
downhill.
Imagine you're an intern who has a nuke. I think this is scarier than anything we've faced so far.
Shit rolls downhill.
They're already interns.
Yeah, that's why they have it. It rolls downhill to them.
Yeah, I think leaving it with them would be an issue. I think we could make a lot of money with where we could trick out our entire ship.
Let's just sell a weapon of mass destruction on the open market.
They don't even need to sell it. We could just sell us not going to your country.
It's more of a
Hey,
warranty
Germany, remember
protection
last time
plan.
we went to your country? We didn't even have a nuke then.
Sir, that airship's got an ether bomb swinging up the back saying pay us to go away. What do we do, sir?
Get all the money in the country.
It's hanging off the back like those horrible pairs of testicles and some big
With a cable that's like all ripped apart except for one thread. Pay us not to cut the
not to
rope.
come to your country.
Hey, Peter, not to shoot.
I think there's lots of opportunity for us. And I also think that we have collectively accrued enough enemies that if we were to make, like if we drop off this nuke here and make enemies of these very powerful spellcasters and give them a nuke, it would come back to us anyway.
Do you really want to give a nuke to Hogwarts? Just saying.
I mean, yes.
I'm talking books 6 and 7 on.
Oh, yeah.
When they're under new
When Dolores
management.
Umbridge
Do you
takes
want to give
over.
it to Dolores Umbridge? No.
So what does our mechanic do? Is he's
It's like
immediately
getting MacArthur.
you're kind of saying we have to take the bomb with us.
Yeah.
Okay, now Quintessence was, apparently there's a hamlet down below, and in a massive crater. Okay.
Beautiful lake.
Uh,
I have a storm type. Beautiful lake.
now,
The lake is also
say, is there a unpopulated area nearby?
Straight
Just
down,
empty.
mostly unpopulated.
You said that there was a hamlet there.
Yeah, down below.
Mostly unpopulated.
That's
Defined
only a couple
mostly.
hundred people.
Okay, is there an area not far from here that doesn't have a couple hundred people?
Oh yeah.
Well,
The maelstrom.
Okay,
Actually,
then
we're-
why don't we just
Just on the other side of the maelstrom, it's all devastation.
see? Why don't we just
we're
take
near
it to the area that's already
Transylvania, right?
desolate?
Yeah.
There's vampires there. Have you ever thought about it? Nobody is trying to
We're gonna
nuke the vampires
Let's
yet.
nuke Dracula's castle.
What I'm hearing is epic story arc.
Dracula comes out in his flip-flops, slippers, and his fresh hot blood from waking up yawning at 8 o'clock at night, looks up and sees just the moon with the silhouette of an airship.
And then suddenly a second sun.
The fuck?
What the fuck is this?
Why
What the
don't
fuck
we
is that?
take it and drop it where it's not going to hurt anybody?
I agree. I
But
think.
you want to hurt somebody?
I think
Yeah.
we have a lot of narrative options. I think that it is better than leaving it here.
Yeah, I don't want to leave
So
it here.
whether we disassemble it or we blow it up or whatever.
And as far as I'm concerned, it's perfectly safe now. It's encased.
You did a good job.
I did a good job.
You know what I see? I see the impact foam from
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone movie.
Demolition Man.
Yes,
Yeah.
When they
yes.
open the car and it's styrofoam.
Yeah.
Now that it's coated in styrofoam, I
It's
feel
fine.
safe.
Okay, so are you gonna try to
I remain thoroughly
grapple it from the cargo hold?
Yeah, we can.
Go ahead and give me a coordination roll as you're gonna whip the cargo hook and you're gonna try to throw it and scream at the guys on the ground of wrap this around the box.
I'm sure we have like. How did we get it out? We
You
lifted
took
it
your
with
time to rope it up, fly your ship over it, and pulled it up.
Are the interns still there?
You can literally throw the rope with the hook to them and tell them on their turn to wrap it around. That
Yeah,
you can use
I
them.
wanna-
They're minions.
Okay, so my
Speaking of
coordination
minions,
again.
where's Peters?
They've
still in,
been busy.
Wow.
So how many?
Not her.
So it's a
The
coordination
little
roll.
I know, but
tiny
how
one.
many is it against?
Oh, it's
Small
gonna
one.
be against 3 people. As you're grappling hook this sucker.
All right, well,
Catch this rope!
here we go.
Touched it.
What are you rolling coordination?
Yeah. Did you want to flip? You have one.
No,
Actually, I just want to
okay.
since what I did was mostly can I aid her?
No, because you were busy doing the whole what is that game. But go ahead and flip one of those black ones light.
Oh, okay.
I gave you a shot. I'm like, this would be cool. You throw the hook and hook something else.
It's not the worst.
Okay, actually, it's not
Didn't
great.
really,
Not the
it
worst,
didn't do
but-
anything technically because you have failure, and 1 success and 2 advantage. So you throw the grappling hook, and sadly the winch was locked, so it goes like 3 feet under the airship and
I
stops.
don't know if that's a failure. That's a cock die.
No, it's it was a failure.
Even if it wasn't, to go the other way, and she still didn't have a success. So you throw the hook, and they're looking at the hook, and looking at the thing, and looking at the hook, and they're kind of like, "You want us to what?" And they will run to go grab the hook on their turn,
Okay,
which is
yes.
at the very end. So you throw it to them, and I'm assuming you would like to use your maneuver to hit the lock that you didn't know that
Yes.
apparently one of the guys must have set. Get behind them, this is your shit. Had to have been Peter's cousin, nephew.
Yeah.
Cousin
Person
nephew.
the whole while.
Who's the whole time up in his
That's
turret,
weird.
swinging the gun around like he's pretending to shoot things. Why are all the bells going? I didn't mean to touch the gun. Okay, so they're running off with your rope and kind of like quickly roping it up. Let's see how good that these guys are against securing it, because it can't be that bad, right? It's super easy to tie a rope around a big box.
Apparently not.
They're interns.
That would be too.
Now I see why you didn't want to leave them.
Oh,
Could you imagine what they would do with this?
3
Nothing. They would
threats.
do absolutely nothing.
No,
with
they
it.
would
That's-
play D&D on it. Is what they would do. They're interns.
So they're like, you're
Can
seeing
we play
these.
D&D on it?
We can now.
You're seeing these guys pull the rope and they're like not coordinated at all. Obviously they are not loaders, they are
To have
unloaders.
our characters play D&D with D&D.
As you're getting this whole and they're like putting the hook in the foam, like it's not going in the foam, and the other guy's like run it around, and 2 guys grab it and run in different directions, and they get stopped halfway. You're realizing these are not the best.
This is some yakety sack
Meanwhile,
shit right
screen
here.
swipe. We see the
Some
Clockwork
yakety sack
Terminator with his sword and gun looking at where Peter's feet just go poof into the ceiling. Crank, 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 crank. And he's not happy with you. He's gonna take that shot at you. He's gonna have black dice. He's gonna aim. He's gonna look for the purple
Can
dice.
he aim if he doesn't know where I am?
He can still aim. It doesn't really offset the black though. They both have it. Oh, here's the other purple. They blend in. Surprised you guys didn't use the light side. Wow. You got like a crap ton of everything going on here.
That's a very diverse die pool.
That takes care of that. We got this takes care of both those successes and this advantage. Then we have 5 advantages. 5 advantages.
No success.
As he starts blasting around you. So for 3 of those advantages, He's going to, I'm going to give him a free maneuver on top of his maneuver as he does this boot stomp on the table and kind of like one arms himself up there with you. As he's shooting, as he's like climbing up there, and he's got the gun pointing in your general direction now as he's one arming like this. And he's going to give you 2 black dice in your next action because he shot the shit out of that ceiling. Now, what are you gonna do? Attack him or try coordination to scamper away from him?
Wait, didn't you say you had to be careful crawling around up there?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's a raised ceiling, not really meant for a lot of people.
Yeah, but if he was shooting, it would already create
Yeah,
an unstable surface.
yeah.
That you could maybe...
That a heavy mechanical
This is
person
true.
is
Yes.
trying to.
That someone could do like an athletics to hit the raised ceiling, cause him to come crashing down since he's hanging off of one of the supports. Or they could do a really difficult coordination to scamper away from the shot of area. It all comes down to, are you going to try to pester him or scamper away with his deadly head looking at you with the gun? Still going, you know he's going to have to crank that thing eventually.
I can fix that, but I won't.
The sound of the pistol.
Is this crawlway?
It's only an area about yay wide. It's a raised ceiling, basically like in a real office building.
Okay.
You could attack the floor, causing him to fall, or you could attack him directly. If you want to, attack him in the face. Athletics would be attacking the floor because you're basically stomping down on the floor, or hitting it with your hand in some way, or kicking a support strut. Or you could attack him yourself because you do have your gun, or you can melee him. Or you could try a coordination to scamper the hell out of this crawl space and say fall into the next room, or continue scampering around the crawl space. Because you pretty much are getting the idea that this crawl space goes across many rooms. It's way bigger than the room you were in.
Right. Coordination is the only one of those things they actually have any skill in.
Okay.
And they all look like they have a base 2.
What would you like to do?
So, if I make the coordination roll, would I be able to go down
You could scamper
Out of
and
the-
belly flop into the next room.
into the next room?
Yeah. You could do that. You want to make sure to have 2 advantages so you land on your feet, not face first in the next room.
Okay. So, if I fail a magic roll, I take strain, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Strain and or
Let's do a magic roll first to enhance my agility,
Okay.
and then the coordination roll.
Okay. As all of a sudden your natural primal magic's kicking in to make you quick like the lizard that runs on its belly. Scamper like the lizard under the crawl space.
So the magic roll is against 2 purple plus 2 flat that I have to burn off, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So this is to increase my agility.
Mm-hmm. Using your innate primal magic. Shape of the running lizard.
So does that count? The yellow?
The green? Well, it depends. Did you like it or you want to reroll it?
No, I mean. Okay.
I think it was a success.
The
I bet
yellow
you won.
is. So that is.
I'm gonna run to this room.
4 success
Damn.
minus 2 failure and 2 threat.
Uh-huh.
3 threat. 3 threat. 3 threat.
Check.
Okay. So 2 successes and 3 threat.
Okay, so you immediately are like scampering and you are powering yourself up.
Right.
The 3 threat, however, are going to give you a combination of wound and strain.
Okay.
So we're going to go with 1 wound and 4 strain.
4 strain?
4 strain. Yeah. Because 1 threat is 2 strain or 1 wound when it comes to magic. So you are exhausted pulling the magic into this.
4, 6. 10 strain.
But you succeeded, so you're upgrading your agility.
Okay. So that gives me 3 agility and 1 coordination.
Mm-hmm. You got rid of those blacks.
I got rid of the blacks.
Yep. So it's going to be against 3 purple.
Against 3 purple.
Oh, nice.
Free adventure.
Yeah. You're gonna have to find that, download it. I know, I'm so ready to run it. Genesis Shadowrunners, come on.
It's funny, the Trove has literally every book except for the Genesis books.
Yeah, you notice that too?
Okay.
Okay, so you are starting to scamper, and immediately you feel this weird, your shoulders hunch out. Your body's almost made for this crawl split bases. You're lizarding. Okay?
Okay. And the goal is to get through the roof and down.
And into the room safely.
Into the room safely.
You definitely want those 2 advantages to land safely.
He did not land safely. But he did land.
So I am.
Did you get a success?
He has a success on threat. He
So the
didn't land
success
safely,
is
he
you're
landed.
crawling safely, and you're putting your hand, and you feel the ceiling like collapse around bullet holes, and you like scamper quickly away. So for your threat, basically I'm gonna comp it all in there. As you get ready to like belly slide down, you dive down full speed, and you come crashing down.
Okay.
Okay.
So is that a wound or a strain?
It's actually going to be a wound, so it's going to be 2 points of wound as you come crashing down fast and hard. And immediately as you come crashing into the next room, you realize what you're looking at is a person looking up at you, absolutely terrified, trying to pull their table away.
Okay.
And as you're falling down, you see kind of a glint of metal around their wrists and the side of the table. They're trying to pull the table away from the wall with the bullet holes in it. And they're actually got huge eyes, as you know, actually one eye, because the other's in a patch. As you slide down, and you're obviously looking at some rapscallion-y criminal handcuffed to a table, basically. In an interview room.
Is there anyone else in the room?
No, just at the moment, it's that person basically pulling the table, trying to get it away from the wall that's got bullets blossoming out of it.
Ignore him, it's boring.
As you come crashing down, barely avoiding breaking your neck coming down.
Okay.
Okay? So what do the rest of you guys do? It's like, why did
I'm
I give
gonna
him 10
try
minutes?
and redo the
You're gonna instruct them on how to do it properly?
yes.
Okay?
Do I have advantage since
I
or
will
the
give
blue dice?
you a blue dice.
I have insulated clothes.
That
takes a
won't
soak.
help with an impact.
Oh, I thought that would, because it's padded clothes.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Because you're pretty close, aren't you? One straight bullet through the wall and he's a dead man.
Yeah, actually, 1 hit from a gun and I'm a dead man. Or at least
Okay.
at 0.
So I'm giving you a blue for the advantage of having the monkeys following your orders. And you're saying, monkeys, follow my orders.
Okay, so freaking hell. No
That
success.
was a threat
Oh,
before
no,
you
it
dropped
was.
more dice on them.
And then that one became a threat.
Yeah, so I've got freaking
Wow.
More yakking
Okay.
sax playing in background.
3
Yeah.
advantages.
2 failures and 3 advantages.
For 3 advantages, would you like to give them a free maneuver so they can...
Yes.
Okay. So basically you're directing them to, hey, yo-hos, go counterclockwise. Yo-ho, you, go clockwise. Clink the ropes in the middle.
Tie each other.
As they're all tied up. It's just,
We got it!
We got interns! Alright!
okay, so what are you doing? You see that
Laughing
she's
at the
directing
interns.
these guys to rope it up. They've tied it up around the bubble. You're praying that bubble doesn't break, because then all of a sudden there'd be like a foot on each side of this crate, not roped.
How are we gonna get it on the ship? Like it's tied.
You're on the ship. She threw the rope, the loading rope out. So basically you would be dragging the bomb until you get to open air and it will swing and you can winch it
Yeah, and
up.
then we can just Actually,
just
we'll leave
drop
it
it.
swinging, and then we're just gonna drop it.
Sneak.
I don't think we can outrun a nuke. I'm gonna say
The
it.
thing is, we're gonna be so high up that it will matter, and we'll be cruising as we cut that rope.
I don't know that we can move as fast as the Enola gang.
Okay.
Just saying.
You're going so high up, all of a sudden you see a line in front of some clouds and gates. How high are we? High enough.
I don't think we made it, guys.
It'll take a while to drop.
I believe in reincarnation. You could do some ethermancy to make it come help it.
Yeah, I
since
think that's what we're going
And
to
it
do.
is enclosed.
Yeah, you were the one
Yeah,
that
we-
wanted it to come.
I think we need to. I think it would be safer to put it inside the cargo bay.
No!
You could put more foam on it there.
Listen,
I'm
I know
actually
I'm not
there,
right
but
there,
can I say
but I'm gonna go
something?
ahead
Yeah.
and agree with her and veto
The
your shit.
easiest part would be to defuse the
If
bomb.
we go there,
What?
and the
Do you know how to
bomb's
defuse
there,
an ether bomb?
and we're going away and pulling it, and it comes
Do you
and
know
it
how
smacks
to
us in
defuse
the
an
belly.
ether bomb?
Bombs
won't
tin
do that.
with some type of timer.
Have you
Stop
seen
me
us
from
roll
making it
despair?
go.
If we roll a despair on that, I will kill someone with my physics
Have you
degree.
seen us
We're
roll
rolling despair, we'll all be dead!
The easiest thing is to make it stop going.
And if that happens, then we go cyber.
No, I like this. I like the steampunk.
It's more wacky. Less hardcore gritty.
Yeah.
And
So-
Shadow of the Beanstalk is some hardcore
yeah.
grit.
So,
Then I'll just grease the floor so that they can push the damn thing off the.
You're gonna make the floor around the interns who are still attempting to tie it greasy.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
go for it. You're basically smoothing the ride so it'll slide.
That
in
is
your
the
purple.
ideal. What am I rolling against? Because this is a
it's-
utility, so.
It's too purple. You're basically just trying to make the surface slick. I mean, you're using the ether equivalent of KY gel.
Yeah.
On interns. Like 6 successes and 4 advantage.
Jesus. So exactly what you're wanting to do happens. The interns are out of the way unless you wanted to get them.
Nah.
Okay. They safely are making it out of the way.
It's not a full noose, but it should do.
Oh, thank God. The interns actually tied it successfully.
Woo! We
No
didn't
advantage,
use
just
the
they
Hamlet.
tied it successfully. And you're seeing,
Yes.
you know, are you winching? When you gave the directions
Yes.
to do the winch?
She's always been.
But
a
I'm
witch.
not bringing it on because I'm gonna let it hang.
Okay. What?
Mages can teleport.
What?
Yeah, they just can teleport.
Yeah.
Mages can teleport other things.
Yeah.
We got a box we don't want here.
An exploding box
Can they
full of
diffuse
ether.
it?
Can they put it somewhere else?
Now it's
Yeah.
now it
It's
is
just one-
hanging from the bottom of the ship where no one can get to it. So
Not yet. They haven't taken
Teleport.
off.
Yeah, the
No.
ship's still down.
The shit, he
The
hasn't hit
ship
the gas
hasn't taken
yet.
off yet.
are we? I guess that's
It's
the
still
question.
on the
Are
ground.
we
You're
landed
still
on the floor, or we landed?
No, you're
I
basically
assumed
hovering.
we were hovering
Yeah,
next
you're
to like
hovering.
the dock where the
No,
ground
it's actually solid
Okay.
underneath you guys. You have to
Okay.
like go to the port and then drop.
Oh.
So it's any second he can turn off the brake and go whoop and away, or
So-
whoop and away.
Where do we want quintusence?
Roll a 1d8 and see where the grenade lands.
I rolled a 0. Well, it lands on you.
Okay.
Where do we want
As you guys are plotting and Peter, something's going on in the room next to you as you're hearing this crashing sound, which is basically him just letting go and going through the table.
Still the capital.
And you're hearing banging on the wall. Like he's making a straight line towards you. What are you gonna do? Guys, like, get me out of here! I'm just a smuggler. I don't know what's going on over
Is
there.
there a door in this room?
There is a door.
Is the door locked?
It's definitely locked. It's almost like it's being used as an interrogation room for a
Okay.
prisoner.
How heavy is the
Streetwise,
door?
can I unlock it from this side?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not the best door. They don't expect people to actually,
Lockpicking is skullduggery, not streetwise.
Oh, skullduggery? Okay.
It's still cunning, but
Yeah.
Still
Different
yeah,
skill.
but different skill. One I'm not quite as good at, but I still have it.
And you have a lockpick kit, I believe,
I
right?
do have a lot.
As immediately he whips open his little. And as soon as you guys start doing that, the guy's like,
Against
Unlock me first! Unlock me first! Seriously, take me with you! Take me with you! And he's being horribly distracted by giving you a black die. It's gonna be against 3 purple.
3 purple.
And a black die, because he's being a total ass when you're trying to do this and distracting you.
Okay. So
It's a nap of some kind.
so charm is a maneuver, correct? Not an action?
His charm is an action. You probably want to pick the locks and just power through this guy's abusiveness.
Yeah. Okay.
Or just flat out just throw a quick lie at him. It's like, as soon as I get the door, I'll uncuff you.
Well, that would be charm or deception, which you're saying is
You
an
could just,
action,
if you
but-
just say it,
Okay.
he's in such a panic he might respond to just you throwing that out there.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll just go. No problem. We're in this together.
Okay, you got this, man. You got this. You got this. Use that thing. And you just like bouncing the table up and down. You got this. You got
He's
this.
still
You can get us out. Yeah. Hurry up. Oh God. And you just blade comes through the wall. You want to go a little quicker, a little faster. Like come
So
on.
he's still distracting from the black.
No. You can take the black out.
Okay.
Again, sweetie, I really like your dice roll.
Yeah, I'm glad I can make more.
So
Maybe for a patron.
Yeah.
so that is
Correct. Yeah, so you succeeded. How much would you hold?
2 success and 1 advantage.
Material, but
2 success, 1 advantage. You go click, click. The door opens up.
just the snaps and the
And immediately the doors open. You have that moment
Yeah.
where you look at him and you look at the open doorway. What are you gonna do? You gonna run out the door? Or?
Something like this.
You do realize that wall is going quickly.
Yeah. Oh, I will not only run out the door, but I will close it and relock.
You bastard!
Man, if this was
Now-
D&D, you'd have to change your alignment now.
As you
Wait,
go
wait, wait, wait.
clink-
I'm not done yet. I saw the button that the guy pressed.
Uh-huh.
Is there a similar button?
There is a similar
I am
button.
hitting that on my way out.
Okay. So immediately you're hearing more alarms going, and all of a sudden you hit the button, and nothing seems to be happening right off the bat. But as you step around and close the door and lock it and turn around, you all of a sudden notice people looking at you. You notice that there's some utilitarian style desks, like business roller top desks, and there's people looking at you, but one of them is like this with a firearm. Probably whoever was in the interrogation room when the gun started ripping off. And he looks to be the only armed one, but everyone else is like hiding behind their desks looking at you.
The bomber's behind me.
And he like just gestures you. And you see the whites of his eyes from a mile away. He's scared shitless.
Okay.
As this guy is like
Do
gesturing.
you have backup?
The alarms. The security should be mobilizing any minute. What's going on in there?
The terrorists are attacking. He's coming through. Click, click, click.
And you see his like shaky hand reach over and he
You
grabs
can.
a phone and click, click, click. Terrorists at the check-in center. Send more backup.
A lot more. So very much
Harbor
more.
Station 6!
Where's your backup station? I'll get help.
They're on the other side. He points, and you realize that there's a shield blocking like half this room.
Side of that shield.
So close. There's an emergency fire exit over there. As you see where he points, there's basically like a tube where it's got like handlebars and it seems like a harness. You get the idea that it's one of those things. You go to the tube, put the harness on, pull the handles, and you probably float down, or you take a
Outside of the
chute.
city.
Yeah. You can always try to teleport again.
No. I actually don't want to run that far away.
Well, I might teleport closer to your friends, not further.
Yeah. Well, I have no. Well, I do know where they are.
It's at long distance, so it's only 4 purple.
Yeah. No.
What's the worst that happens?
I take any more strain or wounds. I'm really close to passing out. What type of gun does he have? Is he nice and
Really chintzy, tiny, little Luger-looking pistol. It looks like the kind of gun you give a clerk to have at his desk.
desk?
As all shit's going loose outside the docks area, as people are like, "What's going on?" Nobody's actually said, have you yelled that this is the bomb?
No, are you kidding? Then the interns wouldn't touch it. I know, trust me, I was thinking of doing the klaxons and stuff, but I'm like, no, then people will do it.
How is security going to get in with the force field up?
They drop the field.
How do they do that?
Over there. And he's kind of like pointing towards the wall, like, get out of the way, I don't want to shoot you.
I'm behind him at this point.
Okay, it's over there,
Okay, I will go there and hit the force field.
Well, there's a control panel you gotta open up, and there's like a series of old levers.
Okay.
As you see, like ether sparks going between each of the levers.
Okay.
Old levers.
What's
the
the
city has only
combination?
been here for 15 years tops.
But it's been repurposed from the things they found on the wreckage.
What's the combination?
Security will turn it off when they get here. I gotta keep the door covered.
It's above my pay grade.
I sense a charm roll coming up shortly.
Yeah. But I've already had an action this turn.
Yeah, basically,
Okay. So that's basically it for this turn?
yeah.
Okay.
So guys, what you gonna do? He's ready to start the engines and go. Your guys have got it hoisted. You've got the winch pulling it closer. He's greased the path, so it's rolling like it's got pins underneath it, rolling it nice and smooth.
Not orphans this time.
The spell is powered by the blood of orphans. Orphan Gris.
Like hamburgers, but far less precious.
Well, we could radio whatever you say. You need somebody to come over here to defuse a ether bomb
I think
over the.
you were right when you said we need to find somewhere to drop it.
I'm totally willing to do that.
Yeah, because
Right here.
like
I still have not been appraised of the situation
It is-
of them attaching the bomb to
Yes.
the ship again.
You're
That is
envisioning
correct.
they're all
Actually,
grabbing
okay, you
Peter
know what?
and coming
What
back.
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the control room. and
Are
say,
you sure
"Look,
you
we
want to
need
tell me
to-"
this? Are you sure
It's
you
like,
want me to
no.
know about this plan?
I'm gonna. I want
We've
you-
tied
I'm
the
gonna
bomb
tell
to the ship.
him to plot a course to a uninhabited area, 100 miles square.
100 miles square. You're cute.
I actually would like to give her information. So
Okay.
using my knowledge of magic, I would like to know what a decent local spot to drop it off in. Like that,
Okay,
you know,
you can
because that's
actually-
something I could probably figure out.
The Valley of Mourning, which is basically a crater that's been like blasted and cracked open in the earth. There's actually a crack that goes into the earth.
That sounds like a bad place to do. I'm just
I
gonna say-
would make the
Sounds
crowd
like a
worse.
great place to get rid of it with very little explosions.
Yeah.
So it's just like the U.S. using mines all over the place. It doesn't make
Yeah,
the hills
yeah,
have
it
eyes, people.
No. Yeah.
There's
No, I mean,
Morlocks
but
come
that
crawling
does,
out.
it is better than nuking a city. It is better than.
Yes.
I think this might be a good. So I would tell her
And
this.
my force field will minimize the impact.
I mean, compared to it not. I mean, yes.
Cute.
Hey, she believes!
She believes!
believes!
So the two of you are gonna go up to him and give him the location where he needs to go.
Yes.
So he
but
can
we're not gonna
so he can do the navigation for it.
Okay, so
Genesis doesn't have an insight skill,
No.
so there's no internal bullshit in this game.
Well, they're giving you a legit good place to put the bomb.
Like, I don't know that the bomb is attached.
no, we're giving him a legit good place that is safe from the fallout from this town that's gonna explode.
This is why I'm wondering about insight being an internal bullshit detector.
Well, they have a perception.
You can do perception against their discipline.
Yes. Against my discipline.
As he's like,
Yeah, against your discipline, but I'm there too.
you just don't talk. He cuts you
Well,
off.
it's okay. How much do we are allowed to play with friends' brain?
You stay out of my brain! Ansel!
So you two are basically hustling up to the cockpit. Okay, so they come bursting out of the stairwell saying, we need you to plot a course.
What's your discipline?
My discipline is you'd be rolling against 4 red and a purple.
You need a red.
Yeah.
Because I knew 3 is the max red I'd throw at you. But that's what friends are for.
Ooh. I failed just barely.
So close. That's the weakest reds and purple I've seen ever roll.
4 reds and not one was a friggin' trump.
Despair.
But it's 2 advantage and a failure.
Yeah. So you basically you think everything's cool, dude. We need to get to this crap.
You have a
The fact
great
that you
idea
just
on how
took
to
over
get
my
there.
mind.
So
You
you-
wouldn't turn me wrong.
You can use the advantage to give yourself a blue on your navigation roll. As immediately he's like, we need to go there! And you're like, okay, I'll
James, you do understand the 3 times irony that exists? This is 100% the dramatic irony kind of irony.
I notice you're charging up the yellows on Triumph, but the reds on Blank.
Yeah, for some reason, and it seems that it
works.
worked out quite well. Yeah, I don't care about the. You made it get a new shit. We're all gonna die.
Yes, but that's true whether or not this bomb goes off.
See, that's your bullshit.
We're gonna die fast.
So would you like to give me a navigation roll as he's
You ever
giving you the
watch-
location?
Did you ever watch Invader Zim?
Yes.
Like, do you know the episode with the very slow explosion? That's what's gonna be the mixture of her exploding thing.
It'll buy you like a hint of a second.
Yes.
This is gonna be paladin or astrocartography?
Astrocartography. Because you're gonna plot a course through the maelstrom to this place. It's gonna be
We will save a
beautiful.
lot of people.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be against 3 purple.
So good.
And don't forget your blues you gave yourself. Alright! Successes!
God, that's threatening.
I do not have knowledge of
You have
No, I do.
Force
I do.
success is
I
threat.
have
She is
internet
either
technology.
one of you
So-
have any idea what would happen if an ether bomb goes
Bad
off
things.
in the middle of an ether storm?
We're
We're taking it away
a
from.
worse ether storm.
What you would do is you get quintessence, and then quintessence would be above it, the same distance that quintessence is
Except
above
that,
the hamlet.
except that
We would
quintessence
create a
would be a
space-time
floating
rift.
crater.
Yeah.
No, we would literally create a space-time rift.
You would teleport all of you into the ether realm, find out there's ether elves, all these wacky things. You'd all become ether wraiths. Okay, so you've immediately plotted this course. You've given yourself some strain, of course, trying to plot this course so quickly. You're cranking on your navigation, Dealio, and you're turning the gears, and the little magnifying glass is whizzing around, plot the course for you, little lines being drawn by the automatic drawer. And you're like, I got this!
I almost beat your discipline.
Yes, so would you have beaten my
Peter.
mind control?
You're running over to the 3 levels.
Right.
You just want to grab a lever at random and drop one? I've got a number picked in my head, and if you pick the right one, it could work. You know what? I will even write the number down for the naysayers in the group. The number is written down. I will cover it.
What range
Yeah,
does
cover it
that
with-
And I will
number
cover
exist
it with I will cover it with a despair.
What range does that number exist in?
1 to 3. It's only 3 levers.
1 to 3.
33
Can I do an ether vision and see?
Well, they're all 3 sparkling with power. You could do an ether vision to see which one sparkles at the same frequency as the 4 shields. And then I'll give you a maneuver to flip that switch.
Okay, so can I use the ether and skullduggery to figure out how to basically undo this lock?
Okay, I'll take skullduggery. I'm thinking outside the box. As you do this really quickly, he just pulls each one really quick to see which one makes it flicker and pulls that one. You're using your cunning to figure it out as opposed to your technology.
Okay, against.
It's going to be against basically 2 purple. What's the worst can happen?
Yeah, that's the worst that can happen.
Despair, and the guy bursts through the door with his gun already locked on you.
Do I get the extra blue for the ether vision?
Okay, I'll give it to you. You're seeing faint hints of ether. As you've realized, we've split the party. It's horrible.
So that is.
He has no one to blame but himself.
Oh, 6 advantage.
Holy moly!
No, there's 3 threats, so it's 2 success and 3 advantage net.
You flip the switch, all of the shields go down,
Okay.
and you immediately see there's a ether-powered golf cart.
Yeah.
You want to see what the number was?
Yes, it is.
There's an ether-powered golf cart right there that can take you right back to where the airships are around the corner. For your 3 advantage, I'll tell you that that's there.
Okay.
So as a maneuver, you're going to run over to it, start it up.
Is there another set of locks on the other side of the door?
You mean no? Those are on the inside.
In other words, they're not going to have locks on the outside, so where somebody can let other people in.
No, it's got.
Random passerby goes, lever, I will pull it.
Okay.
Is that what you do when you encounter a lever?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that what they're for?
As long if
Do I
it
see
says do not
anybody on
pull.
this side?
You see people hustling and moving around, doing different things, going to different locations. There's little ships taking
I'm
off.
going to describe the
Mechanical man.
mechanical man and say, he's that way, get him.
And some guys stop, and you're like, the terrorist?
Yes.
And they are running in where you just left with their ether rifles and little ethermancer guys.
Okay, now I feel better.
He's got the ethermancy badge on.
You should get back to the ship.
Put, put.
Okay, so you guys have plotted your course. Anything special on your turn you're doing other than going, where's Peter?
Has it been 10 minutes yet?
It's not been 10 minutes yet.
Then I am just getting ready.
Okay? At this exact moment, up come from the stairs, Hilda stretches. Has anyone seen my Peter? Are we done here yet?
Get strapped in.
And she immediately pulls up her skirt and, oh, you mean in a chair. She was gesturing, I'm already strapping.
But I'm strapped in.
She has a pistol in her skirt. And she immediately dives in the chair, puts the belts on, and zips them tight. I'm ready. But where's Peter?
Not ready.
Okay, and you're like, 2 turns.
George of the Jungle playing in his
And you get up the ramp to the airship, and you notice this giant crate is now tied to the airship, covered in foamy ether stuff. It's secured really good at this point because the guys keep trying. They came back with more rope and strapped more ropes around it.
Okay.
dragging a chain over and they're tying the chain into a knot. They're like, do you think it'll hold? 2 thumbs up.
Yes, get off the ship because I realize what they're doing. Why should anybody else die?
Oh. Okay, so you get up into the ship. You do have the speaking tube right there at the gangplank.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna defuse this thing, not take it aboard.
Who can defuse it?
You hear my voice through the comm. I'm sorry. What?
It's like the old cartoons. His mouth is what?
My entire head comes through. I'm sorry. What?
And that is a good place to wrap it up there.
Yay, us!
Oh
You have the ether bomb on the ship. You have the ship prepped to leave. I'm sure security won't bother you since they're running after the Mechanical Man terrorists.
Okay.
Obviously, you're not taking the bomb off the ship.
When I stole this pencil from you, I had a full eraser.
You have had fun with it.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yes, but it's right here. You've just now gotten to spring break, haven't you?
No. Spring break was when I started. Our last session was the first day of spring break for me.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I've been back in class for 2 weeks now. First week back from spring break, first day back from spring break, I had a midterm.
Ooh.
And then the next day, I had a midterm.
Okay, that's
And
just
then-
dirty.
Wednesday was fine. So I could shut down and cry for a whole 24 hours. Because Thursday, I had another midterm.
Oh my god.
Well, spring break is in the middle.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
You take midterms.
But,
It
That-
was nicer
But-
than doing
yeah,
it
but
right
when I
before.
was there, we
You
had
take
the
'em
midterms
before.
So you have spring break to break down and recover.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, but it's not how it worked. Only one class had a midterm before spring break, and that was the observational astronomy class, which is easy as fuck.
That tells
That's
me
a
that
star. That's a star.
No, it's
That's a planet.
mostly-
That's the moon.
It's mostly working with a computer software called IRAP to reduce the image data, and it's actually the worst thing in the world. IRAP is a piece of shit of software that no one wants to use.
but everyone has to.
They've had to for a long time. Python, the coding language, has a library called AstroPy, which in the past couple of years has replaced it, and so NOAO has stopped updating IRAF because AstroPy has been. And nobody wants to use it. It's fucking awful. But it's still part of the curriculum, so we got it.
Oh,
Because it might be in some third world
because it
country.
because it takes like 10 years to actually change the curriculum, and even though everyone is using the
To
other one,
update.
Yeah. I mean, I know how to use AstroPy because of the research I do, but like, for the class we still have to use IRAF. And it's fair because there are a lot of things that are written in IRAF code that are very useful that just haven't been ported compared to Python. Because astronomers have been using IRAF since
But don't forget your-
mid-80s.
next week.
Oh. Are we good with next week or the week after that?
Next week I will not be in town. I will be in Socorro, New Mexico.
Oh, so week after that then.
Yes.
Yep. Yas.
Give me your empty sweetheart.
And, yeah, and April 7th for the next Twilight Imperium game.
Oh, perfect. Because that's the next Star Wars game.
What happened at the last Star Wars
November
game?
26th.
Last Star Wars game was horrible. Remember, the droids are left at the Jedi Temple, and the organics were scared off and went to the Ithorians to be healed up.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
That was the last one.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one that happened last time, I couldn't make it.
Okay.
No, that was the last one because the other one got canceled.
The other one got canceled?
And
Okay.
then we had none planned through March because of
Yeah.
the March Madness.
I remember there was talk of what happening, and then I had to cancel at the last minute for some reason.